and I know you kind of touched on it, but what was the thing that really sold you on Matt Rhule as being your guy?
You know what? We did a lot of research on everybody, right? People that we didn't even talk to yet. And I think for me, trying to, build something a little different, and some of the things that, Matt was talking about on stage, just a commonality of some of the things we were thinking about, how you build a program, how you get, a certain amount of toughness. And I've talked about this on the business side. I talked about this for Charlotte, and I talked about this in general, being the best. I've constantly talked about that before I knew the name Matt Rhule existed. This is not something new for me. Being the best, being the best, being the best, being the best here. Whatever we do here, just trying to get every edge and being the best. And this is a guy that kind of believes in that same thing, every edge, being the best. So you can see that how he built these programs, how he takes things that are, hard and makes them better. And like you said, be the best 8 and 18, be the best 10 and 16. And I say, I'll say that always say what this city and this region can aspire, and how much we can grow and how we can be the best. I say it again and again and again and again and again. And you just heard what he said this on stage over there. You could have heard me say similar things. Still, listen, he's a hell of a speaker, much better than me. But it's the same message. Being the best, getting every edge, being the best, getting every edge, every day, being the best. It's the same thing we do on the business side here, which I've talked about for a while here. How do we accomplish so much in such a short period of time that we've been here? We have these concerts, we have an MOS team, and all those things every day trying to be the best. And now we have Matt Rhule, this leader, that's going to get us in the drive the same way of being the best every day, thinking how to be the best.
David, you talked about being willing to be patient in order to build this thing the correct way. What is your commitment to him in terms of the reported yearly contract, meaning that you are willing to not necessarily to be patient and make sure it's done the correct way?
Well, I know there's been, I'm not going to comment on the contract particularly. I mean, the reports, and Matt mentioned 7 years, so I'll just mention that. So there's a long-term commitment here. I understand it takes time to build things up. You have to do a little breaking down before you can build them up. We have a great opportunity right now in this building to start anew. And I think Matt appreciated that. And, some of the things we'll bring in here as far as, again, I'm just going to quote what Matt was saying, process management, sports science. And you guys got to appreciate the process management that's been going on the business side, okay? And just get how these things happen so fast in Charlotte recently, okay? Now, I'm not going to say this is going to happen that fast on the football side. It takes time. You got to develop players. But this is a master developer of men, okay? And I think that we can have something special here, something just a little bit different, just a little bit different. Look at the programs he was at, okay? Think about this for a second. Think about this. You're at Temple with what they had there. Look at the Baylor, the classes he brought in, and what he's done with those young men there. And he wasn't up there in the top 10 ranked classes he was bringing in like Oklahoma was. He was bringing classes number 35 in the country, because they had a situation there. And look what he's done to build and done with limited resources and how he's picked his people and how he's done this stuff. Look, now think about this now. Now you got a different situation. We're going to build the best facility down in Rock Hill pretty soon, the best facility down here in Rock Hill. I heard the owner of this club has some resources to use. Okay, a couple resources to use. And we're going to use those resources to build the best darn thing we can build. And so we got a master developer that never had the resources before, that's showing that he can do it with less. What do you think he can do with more?
David, from a personal standpoint, how is hiring a football coach the same or different when you've hired executives in your other businesses? What did you learn? Is it the same process for you, or is it something different, this being something new for you?
You try to get elite people, elite managers, elite coaches, okay, in your building, no matter where they are. I believe Matt Rhule is an elite coach, elite manager. You can hear it in his voice. You can hear it in his process management. Okay, process management. That's what if you listen to what he said, that's what if you talk about how you become a good manager, or how you manage a business, or what you manage a football team, I kind of think everything comes down to management and how you do process management. And you heard him speak a little bit. I heard him speak a little bit more than you guys did.
Are you I guess, pleased with the way that, on the football side of things, the way that he kind of operates and the style of play that he wants to employ and that sort of thing. And obviously, you have a couple of resources to get players that he might desire and that sort of thing. But, winning football games isn't just on the coach. And you talked about his people skills. What about his football skills that you kind of gleaned from watching him?
Look, I mentioned, and you heard, Matt talk a little bit about it today. Expecting coaches to lead the way. Okay, so there's an expectation of leadership, and it starts with the coaches. And he said, we got to expect as much out of us as we expect out of the men we're leading. And that's how it has to be all the way down. So that, and that's the example he's trying to set. He's saying, I'm going to be there first. I'm going to play through adversity. I'm going to coach through adversity. I'm going to have my coaches coach through adversity. And that's what he expects of the men underneath him. And that's the tone he set today, and I expect that's the tone he's going to set with these men. You got to be out there. Listen, I'm out there, and I just told you guys, I don't know why you're standing so close to me. I told you guys I had the flu, okay? I didn't tell you I had the flu. They diagnosed me with the flu, in the emergency room the other day. But I'm not sure that goes. That's why I don't let anybody with the flu in hospitals. I'm not contagious anymore.
We've had our shots, we're good.
Okay. But, listen, like I said, I went out to Kansas City, and because I knew I had to do it. You play through toughness. You do that stuff. That's what you do. I do that. Matt Rhule does that. And I expect everybody on this team to do that.
When you speak
Last
about
question,
that,
guys, we gotta go.
He's a walk-on linebacker at Penn State. I mean, that had to speak to your blue-collar, come-from-nothing roots.
You bet your ass it did. Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen. I said it the other day. I mean, listen. This is a guy, and I believe the same with me. Listen. I'm an inner-city kid, and it's what it is. And Matt Rhule, we told stories. I mentioned, he was a short order cook. I was a short order cook. Stories like that the other day. It's kind of when you're sitting around the table for hours and hours, things that you talk about. But yeah, I mean, listen, you're walking on. Not only walking on, okay? Just so you can appreciate this. You're walking on at Penn State University, and not only are you walking on, and God, I don't know who's older in this crowd, but you're walking on Penn State University under Joe Paterno, and not only are you walking on Penn State University under Joe Paterno, you're in the linebacker room under Linebacker University at that point. People who are old enough to Linebacker University. So you're walk on in Joe Paterno in Linebacker University. And what position you playing? Linebacker. Somehow or another, you better be tough to get there. So, there you go.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.